learn technology, Dave.
I had the reel-to-reel
Yeah.
when I first started.
Hunter was talking about how he felt kind of refreshed, getting the chance to go away for a little bit, reset his headspace somewhat. Have you seen that reflected in him and the other players?
I think when you say refreshed, I think everybody's legs seem to feel better. You know, getting those days off, may have had a chance refresh, reset, probably pretty good terms. But I think the biggest thing is we look quicker the last 2 days. Now, granted, how long that lasts, I don't know, but we certainly look quicker the last couple of days.
For this team, what's the biggest key for you during this break when it's just basketball?
I'd like to say execution, paying attention to detail. You know, there's a lot of things that we don't do poorly, but we don't do it near as good as we could because we don't understand how to really execute yet, or I mean, you can run whatever you're gonna run, but if a guy doesn't know the timing to get open or set a screen at a bad angle or whatever, it doesn't look very good. And we can certainly get better at executing. But when you really break it down, can we become better in transition? Yes. Can we become a much better rebounding team on both ends? Yes. There's some things that I think we can do better that has nothing to do with skill. And certainly those will be objectives and goals that we get better at.
Bill, just Hunter was talking about being frustrated with his play and just being able to improve his headspace during that break. What has your kind of advice been to him as teams attack him the way they do? And we have double team and all that.
First of all, it's not the first time he's been double teamed.
Yeah.
He's been double teamed since he's a high school, sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
All right, and secondly, he was double teamed at Michigan, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he's played as well the last 2 weeks. And I could probably go back, Missouri, Indiana, Yale, but that's probably been 3 weeks, right? I don't think he's probably been as good in those last 3 games as what he was before. Because before, he played to an All-American, first-team All-American level, and he's not far off of that. But when I look at it more from maybe missing the same shots he was making before. I think that frustration shouldn't occur yet because he still gets touches. He's still doing some things. I think maybe not finishing plays and stuff like that. When I think of frustration, I'm thinking, well, he's not getting enough touches or he's not getting enough shots. I don't think it's that. I think it is more, maybe the correct word is frustrated, but more frustrated with himself that he hasn't delivered in the same success rate as what he was before. And to me, I haven't really talked to him about it. I said, this is how people are going to guard you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to adjust, and as long as we are inconsistent shooting the ball from the perimeter, it gives more people the ability to say, okay, until you prove there, this is for sure how we're going to guard you. So I think that he can do a better job of playing on the perimeter and us moving around to do that, but I also think he can do a better job posting deeper. So that way, maybe longer for double teams to come. But when you kind of play in that mid-post area, it seems like it's an easier double, shorter distance to come, and it doesn't really take advantage of him, but that's where he likes to play. So we make a couple adjustments. He'll be okay.
Will this be a good matchup with Wichita's bigs?
Wichita bigs are good, and they block shots, and they can run to the rim, and they've got an athletic group. It'll be a good, tough matchup, but they block shots, they finish above the rim. In a lot of ways, their starting center reminds me of Doak, just from a catch it and just dunk it, or block a shot. I mean, there's some similarities there from an athleticism standpoint.
Backcourt matchup with Wichita?
Yeah, it's going to be two guards are what, averaging 31? So, you would think that could be a good matchup for Juan and Kevin, even though I'm not sure that's how we'll do it. But I could certainly see it being a tough matchup, and certainly, you know, they're shooting 31% from three for the year, but they're better than that. They're kind of, I mean, we're shooting a higher percentage and probably hadn't shot it as well as our percentage, and they're shooting a lower percentage, but the volume's much higher, and probably are better shooters than what they've shot it. So yeah, it'll be good matchups. That'll be big versus big, but you got four guards versus four guards that are all pretty good.
You mentioned you haven't talked to him much about it, and Hunter listed a couple of things that he is gonna try to focus on or tweak. What else can a guy like that
What he
do?
mentioned, so I'll know as
Yeah,
his
he
coach.
said post and deeper.
Yeah, okay,
and-
well, we talked about that.
Okay, so
Okay.
you have talked to him then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, you know, just not being frustrated, keeping his head,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, I'm not going to be negative in any way, shape, or form, but the best players are defended to be tried to slow down or to stop. I mean, you know, you could make a case that the receiver that plays against the Pats, that's the number one option, they will try to take him away. I mean, that's just, Kelsey, they try to take him away every game. So, you know, he just gotta learn to deal with that, and he'll do that, but I still think there's a way he can get 20 a game in how people are guarding him right now.
Are there other things I mean, do you encourage guys to?
I think more aggressive ball
Yeah.
screen defense activity, yes. He's not blocking near as many shots as what I think he could, and being a lane protector and a rim protector. I think there's a lot of things he can do that would give us a better chance to win, to get his motor going a little bit. I thought against Indiana, and yeah, I'll be honest with you, I thought he looked tired. And you know, they're gonna look tired if you're playing them 35 minutes a game. We gotta find a way to shorten that.
This series is weird in that there's a lot of years between games, except for the tournament. Why now Wichita State? How did this come about?
Well, I think I reached out to Wichita State last winter and said, you know, would you wanna play a neutral site game? And of course, a neutral site would be Kansas City. And they jumped on it, or they thought it was a good idea. This is not gonna be a home and home, it's not gonna be anything like that, but a way to, you know, create some interest, and the Kansas City Sports Commission, I think, is the one that's actually putting the game on. It's not a KU home game, so, and I thought if we were gonna do that, and the Kansas City Sports Commission was gonna be one to put the game on, I really felt like having an opponent like Wichita State that would actually help draw, I thought was important.
Well, it's pretty close. Oklahoma from Wichita. As a kid, did you ever get recruited by them? And did you
No,
follow
they had
them?
better players than me back when I was in high school, so I did not. That would have been Coach Smithson's gene, wouldn't it? Back in the day, so no, I can barely remember what I ate yesterday, let alone those things, Gary. So,
Could it become a rivalry again?
uh,
Or will you not play enough to?
I don't think we'll play enough for it to be, you know, we're not gonna go home and home, but I hope that our players look at it as an in-state rivalry game, and certainly we'll educate them to that point, but this isn't gonna be a Missouri type setup.
In the past, and correct me if I heard this wrong, but you said that there's more for KU to lose playing Wichita State than to gain, even if you win.
Yeah, I don't remember a quote that I said, but in general, just from a strategic standpoint, when a game is circled, regardless if this one is or not, when a game is circled, obviously there's motivation maybe for one team that isn't there for the other team. But I don't remember exactly what I said to that point at all. And going back when I said it, I don't even know what year that would be. But I think it's a big game for us. because it's the next game, and obviously we want momentum going into the league. And, you know, you don't wanna have another school in your state have bragging rights over you until you actually do play again, and we don't know when that would be.
What made you reach out, when you reached out to them last time?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but I like their head coach, you know, and the thing about it is, I don't have anything against Wichita State. I'm not sure Roy had anything against Wichita State. I'm not sure any of the coaches had anything against Wichita State, but I know when I was at Tulsa, I made a lot of calls to Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, and they weren't returned, so.
Hunter had a lot of praise for Marco's defense of late. I wondered, do you think his teammates are seeing that in real time, or is that something that's showing up film when you guys are looking back at it?
I do think he's gotten better defense. We
Yeah.
talked about that.
Okay.
I do think he has. I think he's actually played better, but I didn't think Yale was another step forward. I thought Yale wasn't as good as what it was at Indiana and stuff. But he's gonna continue to get better, and Nick will too, and Johnny will as well. But it's the first semester is, I guess, officially over. You know, it's time for those guys to start delivering at a different level than what we were earlier. And certainly El Marco should be the head of that threesome doing that.
What stands out defensively, or has lately?
I think concepts and probably how we want to guard simple things like how to guard a ball screen, who's tagging the guy and things like that. But the other thing is whenever you labor at some of those things, if you just play sick 'em, that can cover up for a lot of mistakes. And I thought he did a better job of getting after the guy he was guarding.
Were you aware Hunter paid for like 12 kids to come to the clinic, and is that good for, you know, players to give back like that?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't aware of it till it was sent to me today from social media. But he's a great kid, and yeah, I think it's awesome that he did that, and certainly he does that and doesn't call any attention to himself, which makes it even cooler, I think.
Kind of a weird question. Detroit's going through a 27-game losing streak. Obviously, losing streaks don't happen here, but early on in your career, did you experience any? And how do you keep guys engaged when you go through those ups and downs? I know just a coaching for.
My first year, we lost 15 in a row, and then we lost the first 3 the next year.
Okay.
So it was 18 in a row, and I'd say the first thing that would go through my mind was, how the hell do we get this season over with? You know, it's just like, it's tough keeping kids' attention doing that. And that's one thing that college basketball has done that makes it, and the bowl season does that too. So a team, if I'm not mistaken, Minnesota went to a bowl this year, and they were 5-7. So there's still hope to go to a bowl when you're not having your best year. But basketball's even better. There's still hope to go to the NCAA tournament when you're having a bad year, because whoever wins your conference tournament. So it's become so much easier to keep teams motivated throughout a year. Now, that first year at Oral Roberts, we weren't in a league. We didn't have anything to keep us motivated except play the next game. So it's January the January 25th, and you know you're not going anywhere. And you've lost 6 in a row. I mean, it's tough for guys not to get more discouraged in that situation. But now it's so much better because everybody has hope, and hope is what now in the NBA. No, the way they get into the playoffs is they win 27 in a row. You know, because you got to go 500 to get in the playoffs more than likely. That would make it hard to keep guys motivated, I would think.
In recent years, this December 30th has been a Big 12 game, a conference game, and you're gonna have another week before that. Is that positive?
Very positive, because I didn't know our schedule as well as what I do now, but very positive because there's a full week between when we play Wichita State and play TCU. So to be real candid with you, maintenance, in a short amount of time. I mean, you're not gonna bring guys in and you have 3 or 4 practices and put in all new stuff at 3 or 4 practices when they've already had 3 or 4 days off.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta get them back in the groove doing what you're doing, and so it gives us more of an opportunity to probably do some things that we haven't practiced much that next week. I think it's much needed
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, the whole league's that way.
So, yeah, which
Yeah.
I think is good.
Right.
Now, the negative is there's no bye weeks.
Oh, right,
So everybody's gonna play 2 games a week.
Gotcha.
So.
Thanks, Coach.